Dear beloved Creator of all that is, here we come together as a unified body to imagine, share, and manifest. This is our job, our task, our responsibility, and our purpose. For we are creators, able to envision and bring to fruition worlds yet unimagined. May our creation represent and speak to the hearts of our increasing, awakening souls who are right here, right now, recognizing that we are sovereign, alone and together, and we are thankful. And so it is.
Thank you, Charlie.
My pleasure.
Statewide Jural Assembly. I'd like to talk about cognitive dissonance and Article 7 amended. Now, if you're not on Oregon, you may not know what I'm talking about, and that's perfectly all right. Cognitive dissonance and the Stockholm syndrome is what we're dealing with, and I know that because I had that disease until 2014. So when we're talking to people that really don't want to understand just how rotten and corrupt the system is and how everything they've known all their life is a lie, those people have a hard time dealing with it. And so they would rather say, oh, you're the problem. It's not the information that I've gotten all my life that's the problem. You're the problem for telling me it's a lie. Therefore, they can transfer that culpability onto me. And Charlie's got her hand up.
I'd like to just make it very clear that you're saying cognitive dissonance, not cognitive dissidence.
Correct. Although I probably mush my words up when I say it, it's the ability to believe two things that are conflicting at the same time. People that absolutely know that smoking is bad for their health, and then they smoke. They have that ability. I had it. I know what it is. In any case, we've been taking one step at a time for the last 4 years. And we know where we're going, and we didn't know how we were going to get there when we started, but we knew that if we took the next best step, we would eventually get there. And we have. We have arrived at the place where we know what's going on, and we have advised all those on Oregon that we do know what's going on, and we're doing our very best to advise all those on all of the other several states and territories what's going on so they can correct their particular issues. And each one has a different issue. Every state and territory has a slightly different way that their state or territory was converted into a subdivision of the United States, the incorporation that Lincoln's administration, because he may have been dead by the time it all happened, that administration had cooked up as a corporate governance. They incorporated. That is the realm of bar attorneys, the British Accreditation Registry. My granddaughter's a bar attorney. How does that work out? She's also a member of the Daughters of the American Revolution. How does that work out? How can you be a daughter of the American Revolution and comprehend what we did, what our forefathers did, and everything that happened to bring us to being the only Republican form of government where the people are the sovereigns with no ruler and no subject. And then you buy into being an attorney, and then you join a bar association, and you join the de facto, the unlawful and illegitimate governance that we have. So here's the deal. We are going to change Oregon from a de facto incorporated governance where the city is a de facto subdivision of the county, which is a de facto subdivision of the state of Oregon, which is a de facto subdivision of the United States. We are going to change from that, which happened on Oregon under Article 7 amended November 8, 1910. Now we know all of that. That's the truth. They have not rebutted it. They have had multiple opportunities, and they don't because it's true. They can't rebut it. And each and every state and territory has the same thing going. Richard Mack, who got a decision from SCOTUS, the Supreme Court of the United States, a bogus judicial organization of the United States, an incorporated entity in color of law, gave Richard Mack and another sheriff the right to be constitutional sheriffs. And they comprehend that the Constitution that they're constitutional sheriffs of is the correct Constitution, and they're wrong. They have been defrauded. They've been defrauded since March 1861, and then they doubled down on that, and I don't know what date it was, but they made a constitution of or for and word arted their way into an incorporated governance in color of law instead of government. And Richard doesn't understand that. He thinks that what he's dealing with is the truth. And it's not. What he's dealing with is a fiction, an incorporated fiction, a play pretend of the Bar Association. That's who's at the base, at the root of this whole thing. And we have to change it this year, 2022. And we're doing it. Now, every single district attorney, all 36 of them on Oregon, and the Oregon Attorney General, Ellen, and the JAG for the Oregon National Guard, Nicholas, they're all party to Article 7 amended, the fraud of 1910. And that's where we have to roll this back to and correct the fraud. When you sit here and you look at what we're dealing with on Oregon, then you also have to take a look at some of the things we're dealing with through the United States and that fraud. Let's take the Twin Towers as an example. That's a lie. That's fraud. They killed 3,000 people. They killed more people at the Twin Towers than they killed in Pearl Harbor when they started the war. Do you gather that in? That's not just a little fraud. That's the sacrifice of over 3,000 people to perpetrate fraud upon the people. So that's one. And then you go back a little bit further and you say, well, what about JFK? Yeah, they murdered him also. And it's all been figured out and it's all been written down and you can find it. It's not a secret. It's there, but they don't want you to know it. But you have to take the time and the energy to actually go find these things out. So then when you look at the fraud that are stacked up one after the other federally through the United States, Washington District of Columbia, since March 1861, and on Oregon, November 8th, 1910, and every other of the 32 states and 17 territories has a date. And they all have to figure out what that date is, and they all have to return their state and territory to a constitutional Republican form of government, and nobody can do it but yourself. You're the only one that can do it. Where I got it here. Every single state has one of these. Ours is called Article 1, Section 1. We declare that all men, when they form a social compact, are equal in right, that all power is inherent in the people, and that all free governments are founded on their authority and instituted for their peace, safety, and happiness. And they have at all times a right to alter, reform, or abolish the government in such manner as they may think proper. That's me and you. That's mindset. If you don't have the mindset, if you don't comprehend that you are one of Article 1, Section 1, then you think somebody has authority over you. That's not true. That's not why we're here. We're here for our peace, safety, and happiness. And that's why we have a government, and that's their whole job. Their job is not to collect income tax or make you get a driver's license or any of that other stuff. Their job is our peace, safety, and happiness. That's where we're going. Now, we've been doing it one step at a time, just like the alcoholics with their 12-step program. we've got a lot more than 12 steps into this one. But we're right at the last step right now. Charlie filed the papers with Deputy Secretary of State Cheryl Myers, and we have called them out, each and every one of them. Everybody that was elected or stood to be reelected, the entire judiciary on Oregon, they're all crooked, they're all criminals, and they know it. And they've been doing it for 112 years, and they like it. And the entire Oregon State Bar is in it. They're all standing in line waiting to be made a judge so they can rake in whatever it is they get to rake in. That's all going on Oregon, and we know it. We are no longer deceived. It's going on every one of the other states and territories, and thousands and millions of people know it, and not enough take action. We're taking the action. We took the next step, and the next step is you no longer get to deceive us. We will not accept this anymore. That's the next step, and we took it. Now, people say frequently, well, what are you going to do to enforce that if they don't do what they're supposed to do? Well, the answer is look up boy, I just love it when the brain fails to function, when you try and clear the fog away so you can actually say what you want to say. Athens, Tennessee. Hooray! Athens, Tennessee, 1947. The first time I heard about this, 2014, I believe, and looked it up. Now I saw it today. Somebody dropped that there's a video of it or even a movie of it. It's true. In Athens, Tennessee in 1947, the people would not take it anymore. They refused, and they went to guns. These guys had just come home from World War II. They were not opposed to taking a rifle and going down to the courthouse and straightening it out. Well, neither are we. That's where we're at. It says right here, or abolish the government in such manner as they may think proper. That's the Second Amendment. That's what's proper. If you, as the incorporated governance of the Kate Brown oligarchy, of the DAs and the Bar Association, the Article 7 amended judiciary on Oregon, choose to provide us with color of law instead of law, then we choose to remove you. And the next step is, if you do not accept your removal, we will implement the Second Amendment. And that's not sedition or anything else. That's Article 1, Section 1. In such manner as they may think proper. Whatever we choose to do is proper. We are the sovereign Oregonians. And everybody else, similar to us on every one of the other several states and territories, are the same as we are with full faith and credit. It's clear. We've gotten this far, one step at a time, and we're standing on the last stepping stone. There's no more steps to take. The decision is now, will the Incorporated Color of Law, State of Oregon, and its minions take their proper oath and return to a constitutional Republican form of government now, or will they not? If they choose not, then it's guns, just like Athens, Tennessee, 1947. Nothing new. Doesn't have to go back all the way to 1776. We're not taking it anymore. We have taken all the proper steps, one at a time, from the very beginning, 4 years ago, and each one of our steps has been authenticated. They've all been filed properly. We have proof of service. There's nothing that is in the least bit bogus about what we're doing. It's not like Anna, who says lots of stuff and provides no proof. This is all proven. All of it's posted. It's all on video. All the documents are on www.orsja.org. William has put them there. If you find one missing, get a hold of me and we'll find it and we'll send it to you. We screw up all the time. And we find the error, fix it, and move on. It's simple. It's not rocket science. This is returning us to our proper state of being. So now we've explained this to you many times. And doing it one more time. When I got into this, William said, we just keep telling them the same thing over and over and over. And we tell them the truth, and we tell it to them until they comprehend it. And comprehension comes at different times for different people. I was 75 before I comprehended how bad it was. There was some head of the CIA named Dulles. He and his brother were both into it. They go in family groups like the Harrimans and the Bushes and the Dulleses and the Roosevelts and the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds. There really is families that are wired into this, and their best interest is to deceive you and enslave you. And now they're killing us. People watch OPB. We were talking about that earlier. And they watch television and news. And they actually think that what they're watching is the truth and not propaganda. And I know that because I was right there with them until 2014. Duh. So, if you're on Oregon, please contact us. www.orsja.org. And we'll do our very best to get you all the information that you need, explain it, look at what we say. We only talk the truth. We don't lie. We don't cheat. We don't steal. We don't collect any money. Fortunately, we found a benefactor that, bless you, Farwell. So in any case, I don't know how long I've talked now, but I'm just about out of words. I could say the same stuff over again, but I'm pretty sure you got it. We are at the last step. There are no more steps after this. The sheriffs, the DAs, the incorporated governance renounces the treason of Article 7 amended and takes their oath to a proper Oregon Constitution, and we return to law from color of law now, this year, soon, or we take the next step. And the next step is Athens, Tennessee, 1947. And shall abolish the government in such manner as they may think proper. Whatever we do is proper. We are the sovereign Oregonians who have all of the authority, and this whole thing is for our peace, safety, and happiness. And I yield.
They do not want to let go of this. They do not intend on losing here. And we do not intend giving it back to them.
And then the bullets started flying. Then he jumps out of the car. And he's got both his hands up. And he got out of the car, and he had his hands in the air. He's like, just shoot me then. This is what you want, just shoot me. And they did. They shot him dead. With his hands in the air, and I fought. I swear to God. He was just walking with his hands in the air. And they shot him. And they shot him dead, and then after he was down on the ground, shot him 3 more times.